Hello, this is the daily COVID update from Deccan Herald. I'm Suraksha. On the bulletin today, Karnataka records its highest single-day spike with 248 new cases. The Union Home Ministry meets chief ministers to decide on Lockdown 5.0. And in our series of conversations looking to the future, we speak to Shruti Batra to understand the demands of domestic workers.
The stigma and biases related to domestic workers is already existing in our system. There are concepts of purity and pollution. This kind of messaging will really add to this kind of vulnerability.
But first, a look at the daily figures. At the time of this recording, India has over 85,000 active cases in the country and is headed towards 5,000 deaths. The sudden drop in the number of active cases from yesterday is due to the discharge of nearly 8,500 people from various hospitals in Maharashtra. Details are awaited. Delhi reported its highest single-day spike today with 1,106 cases. It also added 82 deaths, nearing the 400 mark. Of the 82 deaths, only 13 deaths were recorded in the past 24 hours, while rest 69 took place over a period of 34 days prior to that, which were reported late by hospitals. Meanwhile, in Maharashtra, Asia's biggest slum cluster of Dharavi, plus its neighbouring areas of Dadar and Mahim, have so far reported over 35,000 cases and 1,150 deaths. Nearly 25,000 plus are among the active cases. A day before Lockdown 4.0 ends, Home Minister Amit Shah has met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi to discuss the broad contours of the next phase of restrictions. He also discussed the apprehension that many chief ministers feel at lifting the lockdown in one go. While the Goa Chief Minister would like the lockdown increased until June 15th, he has also asked that relaxations should be given to hotels and gyms. Maharashtra has indicated that it would like the lockdown to continue, while Chhattisgarh wants to keep its borders sealed. Himachal Pradesh has already extended the lockdown in 2 districts until the end of June. A Mumbai-based activist who wanted to know expenses incurred to combat the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak has received an unusual reply to his RTI query from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. In its response, the ministry has said that it has no specific information to provide. The response was provided 22 days after the query was filed. The Central Public Information Officer has said that it is not required to furnish information which requires making an assumption or to solve the problem raised by the applicant or to furnish replies to hypothetical questions. Moving on to the numbers from Karnataka, the state has registered its highest single-day spike with 248 cases being reported today, out of which 227 have a domestic travel history. 207 new cases are from those who have returned from Maharashtra. Raichur, Kalburgi, Yadgir and Udupi have reported the highest number of cases today, and each of the new cases have returned from Maharashtra. The source of infection is being traced for 7 new cases in Bengaluru and 1 in Chikbalapura. Ballari has reported 9 cases, all of whom have returned from Rajasthan. All the other districts have reported cases in single digits. The state registered 1 COVID-19 death today. A 50-year-old woman from Chikbalapura who was admitted due to a head injury caused by a road accident later developed pneumonia and acute kidney injury, tested positive yesterday and passed away today. Karnataka has recorded 2,781 cases of the novel coronavirus this year and has successfully treated 894 patients. The state currently has over 1,800 active cases, of which 15 are in the ICU. 48 people have died to the virus, while 2 people have ended their lives after testing positive and have not been added to the state's death tally. The state has tested 12,411 samples in the last 24 hours. And finally, in our series of conversations looking to the future, we take a look at what the new normal will mean to domestic helps, an indispensable part of many Indian households. My colleague Shemin Joy speaks to Shruti Batra from Jagore.
Thank you, Shruti, for joining us. You have been working with domestic workers for some time. How has it been for them in the last 2 months?
So we all are aware that domestic workers are amongst the worst hit by COVID-19 across the country. And when we talk about its specific impact, we're talking about a population of over 4 million as per NSSO official estimates. And if we also start, taking cognizance of the unofficial data, it's over 90 million. So we are talking about over 90 million population of this country who are working as domestic workers. One impact we can say that is wage loss, because most of the employers were not paying them for all the 3 months, March, April and May. And in some states, there also has been issues related to access to public transport because they stay very far from their employers' homes. So even if the employers were willing to pay, they could not really go and, to collect the money. And we need to talk about income security, but we also need to talk about food security, because in the places where they are living, they do not have access to ration, even if there are different kind of government schemes. But since they are not registered as workers, so they are not being able to access those government schemes.
What we see now is that the RWS, the Resident Welfare Associations, have become a super government. What are your thoughts on that?
See, I can share my example based on our work in Delhi. So there was this recent circular by Delhi government in which they allowed domestic workers entry in employers' homes, but then that was overruled by RWAs. So yes, you are right that the RWAs have power, but we also need to strategize in such a manner that the government and RWAs and employers should be sensitized and they should be engaged in this process. Otherwise, we will not be able to address this issue.
Now we see a lot of negative profiling of domestic helps. We recently saw an advertisement regarding where they say where they indicate that the domestic helps may be carriers of coronavirus. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is really insensitive because I'll read out the exact statement that they made. Are you allowing your maid to knead atta dough by hand? Her hands may be infected. So you are actually saying that domestic workers are quote unquote the carriers of this particular pandemic. You are the caste inequalities which are already existing. You are actually aggravating them by this kind of messaging. And also the image, using the image of a sitting woman MP makes it more important that those who are sitting in government authorities, they are also endorsing this kind of messaging. So we need to really be critical, though Kent has issued an apology now. But I also think that, this messaging has spread. The stigma and biases related to domestic workers is already existing in our system. There are concepts of purity and pollution. They were never allowed to use public toilets in the colonies where they used to go, or in the employers' homes. This kind of messaging will really add to this kind of vulnerability. They will not be now able to use toilets for like 4 or 5 hours where they work at employers' home. They will not be able to use the cups to drink water or have tea at home. So I think the responsibility lies on employers also.
The post-COVID scenario, what are the challenges before domestic workers? Are they facing job loss in the future?
Even after the relaxation, domestic workers are not able to go to their jobs unless there is access to public transport. From immediate relief, we also need to move towards recovery, towards resilient livelihoods. So the governments really need to invest in these domestic workers as a particular category, which is one of the most vulnerable. The state-specific sectoral welfare boards need to take charge. They need to enhance their registration processes so that domestic workers can access these government schemes. Then particular funds should be set up for domestic workers. And employee state insurance scheme, which are currently only for formal sector workers, they also should be expanded to, also should be universalized to include domestic workers. And I think the major part is there is now need to talk about the legislation which is pending from long. Like even we don't have, there were discussions recently about drafting a national policy for domestic workers, which might have given some voice to them. But unfortunately, we do not have even that at a national level. So I think we can say that states specifically, at least the unions and RWAs and employers and government should join hands and provide some kind of relief to domestic workers.
That's all from us today. For the latest updates, log on to DeccanHerald.com. Stay safe and we'll see you tomorrow.